Biden forgives 4.2 4.28 billion in student debt for over almost 55,000 people, right? Borrowers. This is hot off the press. The Biden administration announced Friday that it would forgive another 4.28 billion in student loans. Talked about that, who work in public service. The relief is a result of fixes the U.S. Department of Education made to the once troubled public service loan forgiveness program. The debt relief comes in President Biden's final weeks in office. Biden has forgiven more student debt than any other president. Cool. He has cleared nearly 180 billion for 4.9 million people with student debt. Still, Republican-led legal challenges have stalemate. I think that's all of Biden's attempts at delivering wide-scale relief, which he knew that anyway. So, like, let's not go down that rabbit hole. Um, all right, cool. All right, so we'll leave it there. What are your thoughts? What are your initial reactions? I have mine. I'll hold mine to the back end. What you thinking?
And I just it's
And
I don't
also, before you go, just so you know, just so you understand the dynamic between us, I had a whole lot of student loan debt. Big bro took the path first grad, all the things. So I'm not what my opinion is not gonna come from someone that didn't have debt. But then when bro came back, and I'm first generation grad, made all the mistakes. But then I put bro on game, and bro went to school full ride. So you're getting a well-rounded perspective, but two different experiences. All right, go ahead.
I just like on the one hand that there's like I get both sides of people saying don't forgive it or do forgive it. Like it's just my question is if we forgive it, then what? You know what I'm saying? Like then what? I feel like we gotta forgive it with a plan. And like I don't know. A little sidebar. I'm just curious. Like, are the presidents able to just do these things like in their last couple of weeks? Like, it's my last week or two. I'm gonna just forgive $4 billion. I'm gonna just make a $4 billion decision. Like that's interesting. But I just I don't know. You think about, of course, there's the opinion of okay, well, you took the loan on. Why do you want it forgiven? That's not how things work. But on the same at the same time, a lot of these people took these loans at a time when you couldn't get a car loan, you couldn't get a house loan, you couldn't get this type of loan. So why could you get this type of loan? Why would you give a 17, 18-year-old that type of money? Because it's backed by something bigger than them. And so I don't know. I really don't know what to even say. I do my best to stay out of that system. And whenever I give advice, whenever I'm asked for advice, I put it like that because you can give everybody advice. Whenever I'm asked, I say stay as far away from that system as possible and borrow as little as possible because it's a scam. I'm trying not to say it, but it's a scam. I think all that it's a scam. People are getting ripped off.
Yeah. So for me, who paid off all of the student loan debt, my wife and I, we paid off all of our student loan debt, mine and hers. I wouldn't have it any other way for me be- because who I became in that process, it forced me to be more. It forced me to do more. It really helped me understand the missteps I made, but it also helped me develop financial literacy and building the muscle of just paying off debt. So yes, to your point of okay, poof, paid off. You're done. You're free, but you still have you. So now it's not student loan debt. Now it's an $80,000 car loan, $100,000 car loan,
Oh,
$20,000 in credit card debt. Like it just shifts into a whole another vehicle that has you in shackles. So have you
um,
really learned the lesson on that bad decision that you made. First, we have to my biggest thing is accountability. First, accountability first. People push against that, but you're talking somebody that had over $100,000 in student loan debt and paid it off. So I feel like no, no, no. We're not gonna talk in feelings. I have earned the right to say that.
That's right.
Okay, so we gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. I earned the right to say that. Of did you learn a lesson? Did you get better? Did you improve? Because just going away, okay, are you better? So
Mm.
that's what I like to call out there. Because otherwise you're just gonna shift it to another situation and you just gonna be in the same scenario. Two is that's taxpayer money. That's not free money. That's people that work, get taxed. You made a bad decision. You made a bad decision, and then it gets bailed out.
I see what you mean.
Now, to be fair, you have companies that make bad decisions and they get bailed out too. So I know that conversation happens too. Like I know that that's a competing conversation, and I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that part too. So I'll let you chime in and give your perspective.
I think that's a really good point. I think that's just a point that I miss that a lot when it comes to conversations about the government. Kind of how we were talking about earlier when it's like the president trying to separate itself from the company. Like, aren't you us? Kind of a similar thing, like the government, tax, public money, taxpayer money. That's us that we're talking about. That's me. That's you. Anyone who has a W-2 job, whenever they say taxpayer, you should feel a sting. That's what that makes me think of. Like, it gets not personalized anymore. You don't think of taxpayer money. You don't think of, oh, that's that 5, 2, 3, 4, 500 that got took out of my check. Oh, okay. I didn't think of it that way. No, no, don't forgive it. Give it back. So then we don't think of it that way. We think about it like, oh, well, yeah, forgive it all. That don't got nothing to do with me, but it does in a way. You just, even if it's not the direct example of taxpayers, okay, boom, forgive the debt. Now what's the plan? Where is that money gonna go? Is Michael Kors about to run up a bag? Is Jordan about to run up a, like? What do you mean? What are we gonna do with this money now? Not said that's what everyone's gonna do, but you get my point. And so I just think that this conversation, it can fall. I just caution anybody having a conversation to just be careful of pocket watching. I always warn of,
Mm,
there's a difference between doing research and studying success and then pocket watching. This is,
mm,
don't get into the, don't get into the hurt feeling of, man, they got their, because they get their debt cleared, they're gonna do better than me in life. Like, don't fall into that trap of thinking that something good happens for somebody else. Now I lose something because of that. Don't fall into that. If someone else's debt gets cleared, great. If not, great. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Just keep going. Keep running your race. If it affects you, if you lose some debt, hallelujah. If not, like you said, you still have to build some accountability. Like, this was a home run anyway. This was a home run chance anyway.
yeah, yeah. We bring ourselves everywhere we go, and so if it's a clean slate for you, make the best of it. That's my biggest thing. I'm happy for you. Kudos. But the people that I know that's typically wanting that, let's just say it. Let's just say it. Number three. Number three. You picked a horrible degree that does not make. You did not count the ROI on the degree that you chose, right? So you got all this debt, and now you have, and the career path that you're going down, you're not even going to be able to make enough money to like just clear it, just be done and clear it. Because that's one thing to pick up the debt, but you go, it's going, the career, you could see the career trajectory of like, okay, I'm gonna make six figures. I'm gonna be between 100, 150, and maybe even up if I want to keep going. But you pick the career path, and if you just do a little bit of research on what is the ROI for that particular career path, and you see like, well, damn, the upside of that is like 60 or 50,
Yeah.
10 years from now, 15 years from now. Like, I don't think I'm gonna do that one. But if you look at another one and you're like, okay, no, that one, whew, man, people at the top, man, people that's like that 10 years from now, oh, they making 200 plus. That hit different. Now, will you get there? It depends on your drive, it depends on your ambition, but at least it's showing you a path of, okay, I can make good money in this scenario. So it's that balance of you just randomly picking something because that's your passion, or you just didn't know what was going on and you just picked something without doing the research. But in it, or because these are business decisions. Remember, Ken Barney Inc., KB Inc. And when you approaching that, when you ask most people why are you going to school to make money. So if you're going to school to make money, you need to understand what companies find valuable and they're willing to pay for that value going down that career path. That's a totally different way. Like, so treating it like a business perspective, like versus your feelings. It doesn't mean that you have to pick something that you don't want to do, but there's multiple many career paths that you can make six figures and you can be in that 15%. Will everybody make six figures? The numbers don't say that. But we don't have to be compared against the numbers. How about you be the one that do make it and not be comparing yourself to being average? You don't have to like average is all around us. You don't have to be one of them. And so you have well, everybody can't make six figures, but how about you know what? I 100% agree, but I'm gonna be the one that does. So that lands different. That's a different mentality because that's usually the pushback people would give and like, well, everybody, no, you're not making good money because you didn't make good decisions. That might be too tough. That might be too real. Let me go back. Let me go back because it does hurt emotionally when you realize, oh shit, I made a bad decision.
I was lied to.
I was lied to. So I don't want to discount that, but at some point you got to stop the bleeding. At some point you got to say, you know what, I went down the wrong path. Let me see if I can start the process of making some shifts to go down a path that will yield me better results. And it's
Mm.
just going to take time. I'll let you close us out on that. What are your thoughts? Because at the end of the day, I'm on a rant now. The government is not going to save us. That's not their
Yeah.
job. Only with the strength of God, if that's, you believe in God, we believe in God, but in you having faith, and also understand faith without works is dead, and you doing the freaking work. We have to do the work. And I'm not like I'm talking to myself, but like we have to do the freaking work to get the results we say we wanted. Sometimes we fall short, sometimes we crush it, but we no matter what, we keep moving forward. And what was the first thing I said? Accountability, ownership. That's what it's about. All right, I'm done ranting. Go for
Let
it.
me pick the mic up that you just dropped. Now let me so I'm my mind goes to what can be done about this? Like so what? So like I'm trying to fast forward to like because all of this makes so much sense to me now, but it don't matter to me now. I didn't already went through. And some of our viewers are like, we 20 some years old, we didn't graduate. But I'm pretty positive we all know somebody who's about to go to college, who's thinking of these decisions. If the viewers themselves aren't, some of them ain't young enough to be in high school about to make these decisions. I'm just trying to think, what would a high schooler because there's so much information. It can almost be, they got the opposite problem now. It's information overload. So
Mm.
how can I, as a high schooler, say, okay, I hear what y'all are saying. I'm tuned into the KB Money Show at 16, 17. I'm trying to be a billionaire by 30. So y'all saying that I should, every major isn't good? Like y'all saying every major isn't the same? I didn't know that. Like I'm trying, like I didn't know these things at 16, 17. I had a broad idea, but I think that the problem is it's about being a good investor, a long-term investor,
Mm.
because a trap that all a lot of us, including myself into this,
Me
a trap
too.
that a lot of us fall into is that like we look at it as an investment, and kind of like what you were saying. Why are you putting all this money? It's because it's a long-term investment. College itself isn't the investment, but they make it feel like it. They give
Mm.
you the college experience, NSO, new student orientation. It's an investment. You're gonna grow. You're gonna get all this. But like you just said, it's competing though. That's not the end goal. I didn't spend all that money just for the 4 years. The real investment is afterwards. And so the sooner or however you can get to all the listeners out there, if you got a little person or if you yourself thinking about college, don't focus on the 4 years. That's gonna fly by so fast, and you're gonna be 23, you're gonna be 30, 38, 39, 40. You're gonna be like, oh, okay, that 4 years was cool, but I got 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 after that to account for. That wasn't the investment, or that wasn't the plan, the point of the investment. Like, that's not why I took out the 200, 300K of debt. I'm saying, like, for the viewers, you're not taking it out for that. You're taking it out with the goal of paying it off within 1, 2, 3 years right after graduating. So if you're not taking it with that mentality, walk away from the loan. I think it's predatory to allow a 16, 17, 18-year-old to take that type of loan for an art degree. But the government doesn't run on what I think and what I feel.
Facts.
If they allow it to happen, it's like what they say, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Ignorance of the game is not an excuse. They're gonna let you walk in there and walk out smiling with that loan for an art degree. And I'm also thinking about people that you can shift majors during school, but there's some people that can't, their parents. That's a whole nother situation. But don't be scared to shift majors. If you freshman, sophomore year, you went in for something and you're thinking like, oh, okay. Everybody I talk to, they seem sad, overworked, underpaid. Please top majors. Go find a major that's get paid, and don't base it off feelings like Kenny's saying. Do the research. We got Chat GPT. That's just a starting point. Go find somebody, talk to them. Do you mind showing me a pay stub? Get personal. Like, hey, I really want to. I need to know what
If
my
you
future
remember,
looks like.
I showed you pay stubs. I showed you offer letters. I'm like, bro, look, like, I'm not saying this is the most because I'm learning. I'm on a journey myself. Like, damn, you can make that. Like, man, I wasn't even thinking big enough, but I wanted you to at least see six figures on a offer letter or a check stub where you like, oh, okay, it's possible. Like, I can touch somebody that's doing it because sometimes that's where it starts. And a lot of these folks are faking in front on the internet like they making money. Everybody's six-figure baller, but when you looking at stats, the stats don't reflect that. The total household income, between 60, 70,000 total household income, meaning multiple people, not just one. And so and that's the majority of people in America. And so you realize you start doing a comparison thing and you start realizing like what people talking about is not real, but you don't know who's real, who's not, because you in this social media world, you looking at everybody riding good, which some people they do ride good. Like, hey, don't get it twisted. Like they doing their thing. But a lot of times this stuff is a facade. And so that's why at the beginning and during the monologue, we were saying run your race. If you have that emergency fund that you're trying to set that emergency fund up. Don't have somebody talking about, oh, emergency funds is for suckers. Oh, this and that. You lame. You ain't thinking big enough. Man, screw all that because things aren't what they seem. But again, sometimes they are. But it's a small percentage of it really is what it is, But a lot of this stuff around here is BS. And what happens is you make good decisions in year one, two, three, four, five. And it starts to compound, and your life is just getting, as long as you have your health, your life is getting better and better and better and better. And it's just taking time, baby. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time.
Mm,
Like good behavior pattern. Think about Warren Buffett, man. He was investing in his teens.
12. something like that. Shoot,
Teens up until now, and then
your
it,
brother
it turns
crazy.
into a whole nother thing. But compound on good behavior patterns, and your life will continue to get better. So that's all we looking to talk about, on this segment. But man, don't believe the hype, but make sure you pick the
Mhm.
right degrees if you go down that path. Or alternative, don't get a degree at all. How about you get a trade? There's six-figure trades out there eventually that where those are still in high demand. Whether it's a trade, whether it's you get a cert, and then you can get right into the workforce strategically. I'm not saying it's the easiest, because you are going against people that do have the degree and still going in that place. For example, like a cybersecurity. Like you can go down, like that's just an example. Sales, you can get into sales without a degree. So if you look in the description below, you can go to Level Careers, you can go to Course Careers, they can give you some insight. Or heck, you can just do a Google search. Whatever you need to do to figure out what are six-figure roles that I can get into without a degree. So that's an option too. Trades and non-degree high-paying roles as well.
That's it, man. Patience. That's the ultimate ingredient. That's the ingredient I've been searching for. I need that ingredient the most.
I didn't have it in my 20s, so I got gray hairs now. So I guess I'm somebody's uncle, right? So I guess I don't know. So so just take it from KB. Don't make some of the mistakes I made. I'm on the other end of it because sometimes people telling you don't do this, don't do that, and they ain't on the other end of it. So I don't think you should really be listening to them. So that's that part too, right?